I'm gonna be explaining what rooms is all about. So there's 1,000 doors you have to go through, and there's 3 entities that you have to avoid dying to. So first we have A60. Now, A60 is just basically a rush, nothing special. You just hide in the closets and wait for him to pass. By the way, the closets don't have hide in them, so you can stay in them for whatever how long as long as you don't disconnect when you're just staying AFK for 20 minutes. Now A90. So how A90 works is that any form of movement while he's on your screen will result in you actually not dying if you have more than 90 health, of which the HP he deals. So if you're moving, entering the closet, etc., then he will get pissed. He often shows up with other entities such as A60 and A120, so he doesn't really show up by himself. Anyways, now we have A120. So A120 is just basically ambush. Although A120 doesn't really rebound as much as ambush does, so it's kind of unlikely that A120 will rebound, but still, I would recommend staying in the closet for like a certain amount of time until you confirm he's actually gone. Notice that it's not the rooms are now darker. So what this is that eventually, so as you keep getting further and further, it gets darker, but it's gonna there is like a limit on how dark it is, so it's not gonna be like extremely dark at like 900. It's just gonna, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be this type of darkness, probably a little darker. I will say though that I have not said a singular word. I don't even have my mic on it during this, but I have not spoken a word. I was just completely just like focused, and there is A90, and we got A60. Like I said, that A90 doesn't really show up by himself that often. He really shows up with like other entities, A60 and A120. So yeah. Now he shows up by himself. I will also mention that I didn't really record it that much, so it's not gonna be like a full walkthrough from like 1 to 1,000. It's gonna be kind of like a jump. Like, say for example, you just saw earlier that it was Thor like 100, and now it's like 400. So yeah, because there wasn't really anything that I could like talk about later when I'm like editing this video right now. There wasn't really interesting besides like some like near death experiences, and yeah. Anyways, the one thing that like gives me the most pressure is like not because I'm like, well, it is that when I'm far, but also it's because when I'm like low on HP, or even just like even like 80, like just below 91 HP, that just like bothers me, because potentially one slip up from A90 and it's over. Yeah. So yeah, as long as I don't, I'm just like always expecting that A90 will show up. And the times I do, it's not really gonna matter, because at least I got like faster reaction time than the last time I did this, which I did like attempt to do this like when was it? I think it was like a year or two. I don't even know. But it was like a long time ago. I think like the highest I ever gotten back then was like door 200 something or 300. Yeah, I was, and so what I learned from this is that like whenever A60 just like shows up, it's always like A60, never like A120 where A90 also shows up. I typically like stand near a hiding spot, just waiting for A90, and whatever I think it's like, I think like A60 is like close than usual, then I just go into the closet, if that makes sense. That's like the best way I could like you know And also, just to mention, I had to like turn off my AC because it was like making some noise. It wasn't making loud noises, but I just like turned it off because it was because I cannot, I had to hear like everything, and I just have to hear the slightest bits. And the one entity that scares me a lot is A-120 because the dude will kill you anywhere. If you're not in a hiding spot, then you're done. If you're not in a hiding spot by the time he arrived, then it's practically over. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard at least about A-120, and especially A-120. I just like, again, he also rebounds, but it's like he just always like doesn't rebound, and but I still have that like dot, like what if he is gonna rebound, and like I'm just walking here and then he's coming and I have to get to a hiding spot. There's no hiding spots around me, so it's practically over. It's GG. Anyways, A60 doesn't really stress me out unless it's like with A90. Well, I guess not really, because like A90 does slow down A60. So, um, but I still was like a little afraid of A60 because you're gonna see in like a bit on why. And also, I had my volume at above 50%, and my Roblox volume at the max. So it was like loud whenever like A90 attacked me, which was like once he attacked me in this. And also it's really loud whenever A60 like passes. I just like cover my ears because it was like getting to a point where I don't want to deal with this anymore. Can I like save my sanity in my ears, bro? Oh, yeah, you also do get like a ton of like gold during this. If you're collecting like the gold, you're gonna get like a lot of gold. It's actually crazy to even like look at the number and be like, damn, that's a lot of gold, man. And yeah, we just got 100 gold right now. Yeah, of course this guy just like appears whenever I turn my volume. And, like that's fine with me. Yeah, we did skip like a few doors with these recordings. Not that we actually did in the gameplay here. Yeah. Anyways, will I ever do this again? No, just no. I don't. I do not want to do this ever again. I thought I really don't want to do this ever again. Not anything that like takes me way too long. And I've already completed it, so I mean, there's no point in like doing this again. I'll be rude to you. It is for more options and the modifiers. But yeah, that was pretty crazy doing this. Yeah, definitely put a lot of pressure on me than I expected. But anyways, I'm glad I did it.